Okay, we ready to go?
Ready to go, sir.
Okay, let's stand for the pledge. Pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay. Let's see. Do I have...
Can you call the meeting to, I'm sorry, can you call the meeting to order, please?
Call the meeting to order. Don't I do that before I pledge? Or I have to say those words? I have to say those words.
That's up to you, Ron.
Okay, the meeting is called to order.
Thank you.
Okay, and I would like to have a motion to approve the meeting, the February 21st meeting minutes. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. We have a new application in front of us today. ZB 23-002. Applicant is 1292 Realty LLC. Tax parcel number is 5955-04-882288. The address of the property is 1292 New York State Route 9D. Zoning district is restricted business on 4.7 acres. The applicant is seeking the following relief from the Board of Appeals: an appeal of the town building inspector or zoning administrator's December 7, 2022 determination found that an area variance is required to develop the 4.7 acre lot. The applicant is seeking an interpretation of the town code 150-48B, schedule of regulation for non-residential districts. And if the zoning board of appeals determines that an area variance is required for the minimum lot size of 5 acres, the applicant shall seek relief from the zoning board of appeals. Okay. The next zoning board of appeals meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, April 18th, 2023, with a submission of the deadline Tuesday, March 28th, 2023, by 2:30 p.m. Okay. I'd like to go into executive session at this point before you present, because I want to get a full understanding of what this restricted business zoning is. Okay?
So you just want to get you want to go into executive session for the purpose of an attorney-client session,
Yes.
to receive legal advice?
Yes, yes.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
a valid reason. You make a motion for that,
Okay.
for that purpose.
Can I make a motion?
I'll make that motion.
And a second?
Second.
Okay. All right, can you folks please leave the room so we can have
You want me to stay?
I'm sorry?
You want me to stay? And
Yes,
Joel
I
to
want
stay?
Joel, and you to stay, please.
Motion to come out of public hearing, out of executive session.
All right, can I have a motion to come out of executive session?
I make the motion.
And do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, sorry about that. We just need some clarification. So, you're up?
Sure, thank you. Alec Glad from the law firm of Cuddy & Fader. On behalf of the applicant tonight, I just want to note for the public in the room that the planning board is doing a coordinated seeker review.
Mic over a little bit.
Yep. So this board can't act until the planning board finishes its seeker review. So the purpose of tonight's meeting is just to introduce the relief that we're seeking from the Zoning Board of Appeals. So what the applicant is proposing, just to give a quick bit of background, is a self-storage facility on the corner parcel of Route 90 and 84 in the restricted business RB zoning district. The lot size is 4.7 acres, and this actually predates zoning, and it was made non-conforming by a 1961 state taking. In the RB district, under the current regulations, require 5 acres. And as you can see, the building inspector issued a decision that we're appealing, that we need to come seek relief from the ZBA in the form of an area variance in order to develop on that lot. as a prerequisite. But our position is that there's a couple provisions of the local code that protect existing undersized lots such as we have here. For example, section 15030 is titled Lots Made Non-Conforming by Future Amendment, and it permits lots to be developed without requiring ZBA relief when they're made non-conforming by subsequent zoning amendments. And we basically, in our correspondence to this board, put forth that this is a logical interpretation of the code for the board to be making. And that's because any property, regardless of the development proposal, if it's an RB use, needs to comply with the 5-acre requirement. So there's some significant and strong policy support for our interpretation. For example, an applicant still needs to make sure that they comply with other bulk standards such as setbacks, lot coverage, and parking, because those are specific to the development proposal that they are proposing. And if the applicant can't design the site to comply with those, they should be required to seek area variance relief from this board. But the difference there from what we have here with the non-conforming lot is a choice. You can alter a project to comply with setbacks, parking, or coverage, but you can't change your project, like the building size or the number of parking spaces that you need to comply with the minimum lot area, especially when it was made non-conforming by a taking. So that's why we believe that the code incorporates the protections that they do in sections 150, 29, and 30. So again, variance relief is required at this specific site to make any viable restricted business use of the property. And to the extent that there's any ambiguity in those two code provisions I'm citing, the law says that ambiguities are supposed to be resolved in favor of the property owner. So if you disagree with our request for the interpretation of the building inspector's determination, we are seeking the variance relief in the alternative. And basically what we see that as is just a ratification or recognition of a condition that has existed since 1961 for over 60 years. To go quickly through some of the factors, we don't believe there's going to be a change in the character of the neighborhood because we're not changing the lot size. There's no further reductions. We're just maintaining the 4.7 acres. There is no alternative approach other than seeking the variance relief because the 5-acre requirement applies to any RB district use. We don't think the variance is substantial. It's only a variance of 0.264 acres or 5.28% from the standard. And there's no physical or environmental changes from the variance itself. Those are just lines on the map. It's not like a building setback variance where we're increasing the size of a building or increasing the lot coverage. We're just asking for a ratification of the existing condition. And of course, the difficulty wasn't self-created. And then just to get into, I guess, a little backwards, more of the project specifics, because I'm sure you have some questions about that. It's a 2-story, 51,000 square foot self-storage facility. And I have printouts of the site plan, which they should have got as part of the lead agency's. Well, the site plan sheets from the lead agency circulation. Am I permitted to hand those out?
You can do that, but they can get that with their circulation.
Okay. If you want a reference to some of what I'm describing, I have printouts of just our plan sheet, if you would like them.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure, yeah.
It's always easier to look at what you're talking about.
Yep.
Yeah,
These would
I'm
have been
kind
included
of digging through my stuff here.
in the lead agency package.
Thank you.
Oh, color, okay.
Wow.
Thank
Well, here's an extra one.
you.
Unless they get the information.
And I have extras for the public, if you'd like any.
Okay.
So the specifics of the project, like I was saying, it's a 2-story, 51,000 square foot self-storage facility. The use that we're seeking, which is self-storage, isn't explicitly permitted in the RB zoning district, but there is a provision in the code that allows the planning board to find that the use is substantially similar and issue a special permit to allow it to be approved. And we think that this particular use has some benefits over some of the more active and intense uses that are actually listed as permitted in the RB district. First of all, this complies with all other bulk requirements like parking, setbacks, lot coverage. After the site is developed, 70%, as you can see, will be maintained as green space all around the perimeter of the site. The nearest point of our new building will be 110 feet from the nearest residential Van Ness property line. And we are also in the process of onboarding a landscaping consultant so we can add supplemental screening to the existing trees along the property line, which we plan on leaving. So we think this will provide a bit of a buffer between the residential neighborhood and 84. The hours of operation will be from 8 to 6. And really, self-storage use is the lowest impact use you can have. It's the lowest parking demand and the lowest traffic generator. For example, we only require 9 parking spaces, but we have to show 26 on the plan because that's the code requirement. So we actually need less parking than we're showing. And we also think that it's much less intense than what could be built here, and some of what the planning board is pushing us toward as permitted. Like the code permits motels, hotels, resorts, restaurants, professional offices, medical and dental clinics, congregate care facilities, which all have a lot more traffic, more parking, more people visiting the site, longer hours of operation, and even a single-family residential subdivision, based on our traffic study, has more of a traffic impact. Also, the houses won't be set, 110 feet away like our building is. So, just to sum it up, we're seeking an interpretation. We think that the 2 code provisions protect the pre-existing non-conforming lot size, which has been there and predates the code, or in the alternative, we're seeking the variance relief. So, happy to answer any questions.
I have no questions, personally. Tim, you got anything?
No.
Isabel?
No.
Bill?
I have no questions right now.
I think what we're going to do at this point, we'll accept the application.
Yep.
Okay. And since the planning board's the lead agency on this, we're going to wait on their secret determination before we do anything. Are you seeking a delay on this?
Yeah, so I would ask, that we not come back until we finish seeker, because the board can't act, so I don't really have anything much else to say other than what I just did.
That's what we'd like to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I figured we'd finish up with the planning board. Once that's done, whenever that process wraps up, then we could come back, notice it, have the hearing, and move forward with this board.
I think that's the best way to go.
Yeah.
Okay, so accept the application, and we won't put this on the schedule until we hear back from secret, okay? And then we'll schedule a public hearing,
Perfect.
okay?
Works for me.
Okay.
Can you actually do a motion to accept and second and all that?
Okay, so we motion to accept,
Make a motion.
accept the application,
Yes.
and we'll have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And do I make a motion to delay?
No, it doesn't need a motion. I mean, the applicant has requested that the public hearing not be scheduled, and the board is,
We're compliant with that?
right, it doesn't take an action to take an inaction,
Okay,
right? You're complying with the applicant's request for temporary inaction.
okay. So, and what do we do at this point? Are we done? We're done.
Yeah, and the only reason we had to come before you was just to comply with
You had
it.
a time requirement? or-
Yeah, that's
Right,
all.
Okay,
Yep.
all right. Well, I guess I'll see you next time, okay?
Great, thank
All right,
you.
Thanks, guys. So we have no other business, right? Motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
Second with a second? All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thank you, folks.
Thank you.